Hey guys, what's up? We are back here with another video, and today we are doing a Navy Notre Dame prediction video. Guys, college football is back, and it is better than ever. We are here to talk about the Fighting Irish and their first prediction video of the season. Man, I'm excited. Next Saturday, the Fighting Irish will take on the Navy Midshipmen in Dublin, Ireland, of all places. The last time this did happen, Notre Dame made the national championship game in 2012. So you never know what will happen in this matchup. There is no graphics for this video particularly, but I will be going over some stats and stuff like that. And then at the end of the video, I will be giving my prediction for what I think will happen come the end of this video. So let's get into Navy real quickly before we get into Notre Dame. We'll talk about their season outlooks, and then we will talk about the game itself. So with Navy particularly, you have a new head coach in Brian Newberry, the former defensive coordinator for Navy, after Navy let go of Ken Nialamoto. I know I'm mispronouncing that name, but it's a hard name to pronounce, so we're just going to leave it. But obviously, Ken had a very successful tenure at Navy. But in the last few years, he really struggled with a 3-7 record, 4-8 record, and a 4-8 record, and has yet to beat Notre Dame in the last 5 matchups and longer than that. But I'm trying to remember the last time Navy won. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't remember the last time Navy won this matchup. I can't remember off the top of my head. But with this game specifically, Navy, obviously, they're in a competitive AAC that has added a couple new members after losing some of their biggest members in Cincinnati, Houston, UCF. So they lost those 3, got people like Charlotte and UTSA, North Texas, and stuff like that. So they did add some other teams as well in UAB. So Navy is in a tough conference. There's no doubt about that. The AAC is a good conference and probably will be around the 6th best conference in the FBS this year. Navy this year, they returned 17 starters, 9 on defense, 8 on offense. So they do have a lot of returning production. That will be helpful for Navy. They did play a competitive game with Notre Dame last year. It was 35-32. And I think that when it comes down to it, it is going to be another close game, but I'm having trouble seeing Navy's path to victory when you look at you do lose your leading tackler in John Marshall, and John Marshall not only was your leading tackler, but he also had 11.5 sacks last year, and really was one of the big parts of that Navy defense last year when he played really, really well. Navy, I do think, is going to struggle when it comes to the run game, particularly as we now look at the Notre Dame side of things. Notre Dame has Audric Estime at running back. You did lose Logan Diggs to the transfer portal, but you should be okay in that particularly. You have guys like Jadarius Price, and so on and so forth at running back. So I don't think Notre Dame losing a couple of running backs is going to be a big issue when it comes down to it. I think that with this team particularly, you are looking at a very large, let's see here, a very large gap talent-wise. So when you're looking at this game, you have to see, okay, what can Navy do to make up that talent gap that is the difference between Notre Dame and Navy? And it is hard to see in this particular matchup. Notre Dame's quarterback, obviously, is Sam Hartman, the talented quarterback transfer from Wake Forest, if you do not remember or know. But when it comes down to it, Notre Dame, the 3 keys to victory for the Irish, because I am a Notre Dame fan, so I'm going to go through their 3 keys to victory. Number 1, run the ball, and control the trenches. Run the ball on offense, be able to stop the run on defense. You need to be able to control the running game on both sides. Notre Dame should have no issue when it comes to this. You have a lot of firepower when it comes to the offensive end. You have guys like Audric Estime at running back. You have offensive tackles like Joe Alt and Blake Fisher on the offensive line. And at wide receiver, yes, there are some issues with maybe Jaden Thomas is your number one. Maybe you have Tobias Merriweather or stuff like that. And yes, I am a little bit concerned when it comes to the particular wide receiver depth and stuff like that. I think that Chris Tyree will be a revelation for this team at wide receiver. Chris Tyree did make the transition a wide receiver. If you did not follow the offseason, he will be playing in the slot. So I do think that that is important, but you have to control the run game when it comes down to it. Key number 2, you cannot turn the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over against Navy. You cannot make mistakes. Navy is a very good team, very disciplined team when it comes down to if you make a mistake, they will make you pay for it. They are one of the best teams in the country when it comes to making you pay for your mistakes. You definitely have to do that. Or have to be able to win in those certain matchups when it comes down to it. Then key number 3, and this is the most important one in my opinion. This is not really as much of a key to the game as it is this season. Get the passing game going. Get the passing going early, get it going often, because if you can keep Navy on their heels and be able to pass the ball overhead, Notre Dame's athletes at wide receiver, yes, they are not experienced, definitive, great players, but guys like Jaden Thomas and Jaden Grayhouse and Chris Tyree are just too good of athletes that Navy is not going to have the DBs, the safeties, anybody to be able to cover them. So I just think that you need to be able to open up that passing attack. I want to see that early and often. I want to see a team that is able to take advantage of opportunities like that. And I think that if you can do that, you will definitely open up lanes to be able to run the ball and stuff like that. So now let's get into the prediction portion of the show. When it comes down to it with this game particularly, you're looking at 2 teams that have played in a historic rivalry. Notre Dame has won almost all of these matchups for the long time. This is the 96th meeting all time with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and Navy. But when it comes down to it at the very end of the day, I think Notre Dame gets the W. I think that Notre Dame wins this game around 45-14. I think Navy gets a couple of touchdowns in there at the end, but I think that this game is pretty manageable when it comes to the Notre Dame side of things. I think that Notre Dame should have no issues when it comes down to it. So I'm going to pick the Irish to get the dub in this one. Navy fans, if you are a Navy graduate or have served in the armed forces, I do want to say thank you for your service, and to all the Navy players, a thank you for the commitment to serve your country. As always, that should be included in any Notre Dame Navy prediction video. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hit 2 videos down below and hit the subscribe button up here. But also make sure you check out the Notre Dame Navy live stream. They'll be on this channel next Saturday. And as always, have a great day. Bye, guys.